we decided to write some more curriculums for our students so that we can give them more knowledge and give them some more insights of everything that eventually they would like to perform during the course of their studies at the vocal studio. So let me just go back to my writings. So basically, I decided to cover a broad, as you said, an umbrella of popular music genres, because it's important for singers and for any musician who really, takes music seriously to be able to learn more about these genres, because they will definitely have a huge impact on the way, especially we as singers, how we perform music, how we approach music, the way we use our voice. So I thought it's a good way of me sharing what I know, and as well as sharing and giving information that is useful to our students in the same time. So I came with this idea to create the curriculum, and I, as you know, and you can see it on our website. There's the curriculum is called pop curriculum, meaning popular music genres. So I decided to cover 4 basic genres, and today we're gonna take one of these 4 genres, which is blues. And if not, just to mention that we covered the pop music, generally pop music, last 4 sessions on Saturdays from 5 o'clock. So on Saturday, this coming Saturday, we are covering the blues. So we are starting the blues studies, basically, from this curriculum that I wrote. So by any means, if anyone out there is watching from our students and whoever new people want to attend the course, please feel free to get in touch with us for Saturday, because we're starting the blues studies from 5 o'clock. So that's that. Okay. So talking about these 4 genres that I mentioned, they are like pillars to popular music over the last 100 years. You cannot write anything that covers the last 100 years in terms of music, right? And not mention blues, or not mention jazz, or not mention rock, or not mention pop music. So in covering these will definitely give you the right perspective as to what popular music is. There's a difference between popular music and pop. So any music that I'm covering, the blues, for instance, right, has been at some point pop music, meaning that a very popular music to a lot of people, right? It has reached the mainstream, it has reached, the world, etc., etc. So, what is blues? Good question, right? When I thought about what is blues, I thought it's a very silly question, to be honest. And then I thought, blues is a genre of music, isn't it? So when you say blues to someone, immediately, you don't have to be a musician. What you think is blues is a genre of music. It's that strong and powerful. So blues music, it's about being a little blue, but there's a difference between being a little blue and being depressed. That's a huge difference. So if you want to know more about these things and the differences, then I will be able to explain that in the courses. Being blue is about being, it doesn't mean that you're depressed or unhappy. It just means that through the blues, through that music, you can actually express the misfortune, the betrayal, the regret, all social injustice. In other words, people who invented the blues, and it was invented by this with this emotion, it was that having a hard luck, not being so lucky in life, seeing around you that there's a lot of people that are luckier than you, but you have a hard luck. But then that translated into music became sort of, lyric-wise, was something that was sad. But if you start analyzing every single aspect, you see that there's a lot more to blues than just being gloomy and blue. Blues can be also very joyful as a music. So, we cover, just so you know, it's not about self-pitying yourself when you sing the blues, just so you know. Yeah. It's about,
so we can definitely have fun.
Yeah. So that's something that we really will be able to see as we analyze everything that has to do with blues, as we analyze the structure in terms of theory, how the chords are, how the scales that the blues follow, etc. So that's that. So as the genre actually emerged in the beginning a little bit before the 19th century. So around 1870, that time of that sort of time. But then overall, it's been said and looked at as if the blues emerged in the 19th century. So obviously the roots are coming from the Western America, deep in the South. And that's places like Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, New Orleans. How can we, not speak about New Orleans? It's the cradle of jazz and blues and so much music, all the way 100 years back. So how basically the music, if you take it, the origins is for the work class people. We have to use some kind of terms, to describe, but people who used to work in the fields, Afro-American people. So when they were working in the fields, they would start singing. They would start, producing rhythms on the ground as they were in the nature. And what best place to, write music and rhythms if you are in nature? That's perfect way for you to explore the movements and the body movements, etc. when you're working. So that's how it started. Now, let me see what else. Origins. Yeah. So the music, when it comes to analyzing, going through, blues also developed over the years. It wasn't only about the field music and it stayed there. It emerged in different states in the US, and it literally took all over the world. So it has its own development. These are things that we will cover definitely more in each lesson as we go from next week. So it started usually it was guitar patterns, playing the 12-bar blues, which is the typical scale that we follow in the blues. We know, it's flat on third, flat on fifth, flat on ninth. So these are the notes that we see in a blues scale. And it does have a very particular sound. We all know this sound. If you want to know more about it, you can actually go on our website and look at the exercises that we have there. There's a blues scale that's played out there. So you guys, it's very basic. So you can see the pattern, how blues scale is played all over the piano from the beginning till the end. So just so that you can get a little familiar with the sound, it's under the section pentatonic, major scale, and blues, right? So if you scroll and go to our exercises on the website, that's where you can find the blues scale. So for anyone that wants to join the course, please find the exercise, type on it on blues scale, and start singing a little bit and feel the blues in yourself if you really want to, get a little more familiar with it. So key figures. There's plenty of musicians that played the blues and made it into, improve the sound of the blues over the years. There's no particular one figure that wrote the music and that put it out there. There's no such thing, because the music, it was an expression of the overall collective way of, consciousness and way of living back then. But there are figures who definitely are very worth it. We have to mention. So we have, let me just check where do I start from? Yes, the pioneers from the 20s, such as Son House, Blind Lemon, Jefferson, Charlie Patton, and Robert Johnson, of course. So these are the people that you can definitely Google and just hear what they do, so that you can really definitely get into what blues is about. Later on, there was the big B.B. King, who, but it was much later, who, he had the full sound on. He had the blues guitar playing, the bluesy voice, the bluesy lyrics, the whole band. And obviously we are covering something more about B.B. King in our courses. And one very, I think I'm not going to reveal the tune now. So you guys, if you come on the lesson, you will see, and we'll talk more about it, so that I don't have to reveal everything to you today. So another thing that it's important for us as singers, because obviously, I'm giving information that is useful and tailored to singers as well, because we really want to be able to understand what this genre is about, especially people who've been in training for a long time, who want to explore and use their voice in different genres. For us, what's important for us as singers, and a lot of people are also writing music as well, right? Blues has a universal code, which is probably one of the reasons why it managed to be that popular, and it still is very popular everywhere. Any social injustice, any frustration, and any loss, these are like, things that we experience. There was slavery back then, there's slavery back now today. So in any country, you would be able to hear in any popular music. I'm sure that in Korea as well that exists, or in my country where I'm coming from, the blues is very, very present in the actual traditional music that we all have. Why is that? Because a lot of people experience that hard luck and everything. So that's the universal code of blues for us singers to know. So when you learn the scales, when you learn a little more about how the music was created, the structure, the key figures, what they did, how they did, what was the impact, the ideology behind it, you, for example, if you're a singer or songwriter, then when you write the blues, when you write a song, you can definitely use all the knowledge that you gathered from the blues as a style and put it into a song. And you know that it's going to have this universal code, because everything is there. There's a 12-bar blues. There's the lyrics that are very strong. So by any means, for us singers, it's super, super important that we get familiar with this style. And that's that. Let me see what else we can talk about. If you want to talk a little bit more about the development in blues, there's something called the jam blues as well. So if you want to know more about the jam blues and develop a little later, we'll definitely cover that in our lessons as well. So let me see if there's something else that I can cover briefly, so that I don't go into too many details and relieving everything. So please, for all of you who are interested, please look at Robert Johnson, B.B. King, Charlie Patton, and if Muddy Waters, of course, we have to mention Muddy Waters, and just get familiar with the music itself. Get to listen to the scale, which is on our website, and just internalize the blues within yourself. But do remember that blues is also very cheerful. You see, if you follow the rhythm patterns in blues, you definitely notice that there's a lot of rhythm there. Rhythm is the connection. It's very connected to life, right? So there's a lot of life in the music. So if you sing the blues, don't make it depressive. What you want to do, what you want to achieve when you sing the blues is you want to be able to express yourself in a very strong manner and own your blues. This is very, very important for singers, and I guess for other musicians as well. So you want to own your own sorrow. You want to own your own pain and own your own experience without being depressed. And when you start learning about the rhythm patterns a little more, and you see which rhythms you can include when you sing the blues, you will know what I talk about. So it's a combination of really frustrating lyrics, super groovy rhythms, and these are like the most important two elements that you can look at.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's not only speaking to, as you said, the emotion, the in-depth emotion that all these people go through, whether you're a child, whether you're an adult, everybody goes through that, experience of like losing something or being under something that's very hard and difficulty, all the challenges. And how do they really melt all these emotions into the music, and especially how they own it, right? And it's basically a transformation of your own emotions in a very artistic way. So I think it's very fascinating way to look at blues. First, like get an understanding of what it means, and also value of it. And there is so much that we can learn in terms of the groove and the dynamic and the intricacies of the vocal expressions in there. Yeah, so I think it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a lot about, once you start singing it and you get trained, there's this beautiful dimension that opens up in us singers owning that blues. It's not a bad thing. Because if you own it and if you express it, it's not. If you express it, it's not gonna own you. So you're not gonna end up being depressed, which is something that these people did wonderfully well, and then they channeled all that into music, and it became a popular music genre. Why is it popular? Because it touched a lot of people. It's popular even nowadays. You can hear it everywhere. You can hear the blues structure. Blues and jazz are also, two styles that will always stay connected. You can hear a lot of jazz nowadays with a 12 bar of blues inside, because obviously these two genres are super connected. They emerge from the same place with a very similar, I wouldn't say emotional expression, but the placement when they originate from is the same. So obviously there will be a lot of connection. Although jazz later on it's considered as, something that developed out from blues, but blues still managed to keep its own sound, and jazz is distinguished. So they're very, very different, but also there's a lot of similarity between the two styles. Jazz is considered as something that, you would, it's like this very chic, elegant, and high music for high class only. Whereas blues was not that. Blues was about being in the field, expressing yourself, and just getting out there and just growling with whatever you feel about. But jazz, when jazz came, it was all about sophistication. And there's a lot of these are topics that can be discussed for long time. But you cannot, if you want to study jazz, I definitely recommend that you start with blues first. Because then you will be able to have the whole picture of what's going on, so that you can connect yourself better, and you have better understanding. And this will all of these will definitely improve even the way you sing. So you can, as singers, we can grasp everything and put everything in our own voices. So it's just the richness. Blues is obviously it's very connected to the three elements that I didn't mention. It's the spiritual music that's in there as well, the Afro-American beats, and actually what blues is basically, with some spirituals from Afro-America as well. So it's a combination of a lot of things. Okay, so what else I have to mention? I think there's something else I want to talk about. Just give me a minute.
So the workshop itself about covering the blues will be starting next week on Saturday. Is it this coming week? This week. This week, Saturday. So from the first week of July on Saturday, 5 o'clock, it'll be available online. And so there will be a lot more in depth, like sharing about like how to approach the genre, and also what are the vocal exercises that you can go along with it, and covering of those artists and the songs more in detail.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm going to be part of it too, so I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yes, yeah, me too. That would be interesting. And then if you have, we will be we will be having one song, which I'm not going to relieve, but I think you know the song, but others don't. It's okay. So we're gonna, by analyzing the song, we will be able to understand a lot more about the genre itself. So that's gonna take 4 to 5 weeks, basically. So I invite everyone to join, explore together, bring their passion for blues. Don't be depressed. Just express yourself in a way that, because this is what blues is about. It's probably the most authentic, the music that really speaks about like pure emotion that you can, and then you can just get it out there. Whereas with many other styles such as pop, jazz, or rock, you can't really get to the core of that self-expression. So it's a great genre for self-expression, for sure.
Beautiful. So if you're interested in coming for the lesson, apply through the email. You also WhatsApp us at school WhatsApp number. So if you want to also find out a little more, on the website, there is some information as well. We'll be posting this video in our Facebook and also our website. So you can, if you missed like some parts of what we had to share just now, you can go back to it and listen more about it too. So, great. Yeah. Thank you so much, Bojana, for sharing about your, yes.
I was going to say, if people want to, express an authentic emotion in a very nice and healthy way, please come forward to us. We're going to teach you the blues. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, everyone. I hope they all enjoyed today's conversation. And I hope if you like it, please share it with others around you. Thank you.
Thank you, Hanna.
We'll talk to you. We'll see you.
Thank you very much. See you on Saturday.
Bye. Thank you. See you. Bye.